This wins.
We game time ready. Welcome to my gym.
Here's Tramel. Butler. 4-3. No good. Rebound. Ladie puts it in. Was there time left on the game clock?
I think that's the ball game.
They're some of the best fans in the country, and they will support San Diego State Aztecs. Now the D switched off. Brennan had the mismatch inside. Graham Foster again. Back-to-back three.
Last second shot. We down to need a play. 3-ball in your face. Hype. DJ Gay. He's living the play. Reliving all the replay. He's just leading the way to NC double. Hey, Billy White, Malcolm Thomas, Brad Caldwell, all blocking shots.
What is happening, Aztec Nation? All I know is don't adjust your set. Don't go hit and refresh on the live stream here. I know Mateo's not here, but it's a little bit under the weather, but I'm holding it down here. El Chino in the house here. Once again, in case you're just tuning in, this is the Sons of Montezuma podcast. Once again, another Kiss the Rings episode here where we talk all things San Diego State basketball. And you know what? I got to introduce you to the two familiar faces. You know, our regular co-host here. I start off here with, they say you can't stop him, but you only hope to contain him. SD Sports Fiend in the house here. What's happening?
Hey, man. How's it going? I'm doing well. Glad you're on the show, man. Glad
you know what?
We had to bring in the ringer today.
Yeah, you just trying to hold it down here, coming in a little bit from the hijos here. They got me talking English today, so it's all good. We'll probably mixing a little bit of Espanol, but that's all right, though. Ese Chino over here. Hi, Mel. Hi, Sergio. See, we already got comments in the chat already here. SC Sports, I know you're chomping at the bit here. Got in right before we got live here, and you're just chomping. You're like, you're ready to go. Like, let's go. He's ready for it. He's got the shades. He's got the hat. He's got it all good. He's got the look. Everything's going here. But so we got Fiend in the house here, and of course, joining us all the way from East Tahoe is the Aztec for live. And apparently, he goes hard in the paint. So I'm told. So my script tells me. Mike Tortolot, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, Mike?
What's up, guys? Chino
what's up?
Good to see you guys.
Happy to be here.
Talk about basketball.
I know. Was it? You told me it was 40 over there in East Tahoe.
It's cold. It's dipping, but
it's different,
right?
So what happens when you're native San Diego? Like you go below 60, you're like, ooh, that's cold. So just thankful you live here. You're just thankful that you live there. But Mike, you hold it. You're spreading Aztec Nation near and far. That's what that is, Aaron. That's what we try to do. So, hey, so thank you, Mike. I want to take an opportunity, on behalf of all of us, to thank everybody on the live chat right now here. Thank you to everyone joining the Aztec basketball live stream. So before you do anything else, make sure you hit that like button there. Just remember, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Mike, yes, I wear my Hispanic SD hat there. Thank you, Mike. Muchas gracias, compa. That's what that is. Very nice. De nada. I know. And we're going bilingual up here. That's what we do up here. So, hey, hit that like button. If you do nothing else today, hit that like button here. Also, we've got the YouTube channel there. Subscribe there. You don't even have to listen to us. Even if you're not listening to us live, if you're listening to us, you're probably listening to us taped or whatever they do these days here. It's okay, too. I know we all appreciate and love the support. And, of course, we got to pay the bills. Here, I got to say this last here. Be sure to check out our online shop, sonsofmontezuma.com. Custom merch, NIL merch. Support the players. Show your love. There are a lot of ways you show your love, going to the games here, supporting the chat here, and that's the beauty of what we do here. You're able to chat about things we love to do. Fiends here. Mike does it. They've done it more than, I'm just here just to fill it in and hold it down for Mateo San Diego. Feel better, my friend. So please support them. sonsofmontezuma.com. So I know we're chomping at the bit here. We want to dive into the debate here, but before we do, and I don't think there's no other way I can transition into this here. Do want to give the shout? Do want to send our solidarity with our friends over at UNLV, who unfortunately, dealing with, unfortunately, another mass shooting in this country here. And I know that UNLV, when it comes to basketball, there are foes on the court. There are, a hated rival, but at the end of the day, it goes beyond sports. And that, we're showing our love, we're bringing our thoughts, and just know that Aztec Nation is with you through, thick and thin there. So I want to go ahead and mention that there. I know the game against Dayton got canceled. They were supposed to be on the road tonight. So that's been kind of put on hold, and understandably so. So speaking of hoops, you know what? Let's get to it. We're 7-2. That's a tale of two games, I think, between UC San Diego and Grand Canyon here. Let's start. I think UC San Diego. I know, Fiend, you were at the game. I know you were there. That was a nail biter. As we hear nerds, Fiend, shoot, go for it. You were there. I was there.
Yeah, no, that was. I'll tell you what, that was a great atmosphere. That was a lot of fun. I thought there were going to be more Aztec fans there than there were. There were so many UCSD students. A friend of mine had texted us a photo. He got like a student ticket from UCSD, and it was just him and like a sea of nerds. And it was like, just a long line of UCSD students. And so I knew at that point that this was going to be like a pretty tough environment. It's going to be loud. It's going to be definitely feel like a home environment for UCSD. And that's how it was. And it was great being a fan of the opposing team going in there with some Aztec fans. There were a lot of us that showed up. We were definitely outnumbered by the UCSD crowd. But man, it was so fun talking smack to them. And, we were down. We strung them along until the very end, and then we ripped our hearts out. And then we
down
all
14. We were down at one point, 14 with the under 8 timeout there. And the thing is that the longer the underdog stays in there in the fight, we start to get a little bit more confidence. And it just felt like, as I look at the chat here, Big O was there. What's going on? What's going on, Big O? Some love from the He-Hos there. I want to get Mike into the conversation here. You're watching it, watch it on the stream, watching it on TV there. That was a little too close for comfort, I think, to say the least.
It was a tough game, man. What do you like? I kind of went hard in the paint about it. I don't understand why everybody thinks we're going to blow these teams out. You know what I mean? We're not the same team as last year. We're just not. People expect that we're the same team as last year. We're not. And so everybody's gunning for us. And, you had a couple guys, I think Bird and someone else was hurt, and Waters, I think he was a little sick from what I understand. And we couldn't make a shot for a while. Like, there's how many shots kind of hit and bounced in and out and took off, and they were making shots. I was looking at the stats too. We only had 4 free throws and they had 7 total, It was just one of those games where they were playing well. We were at their house. We were kind of depleted. We were just off a little bit. And they stayed in the game, but they figured out a way to win it at the end of the game. They came back and won. And that's each game is different. Look at all the games last week. Look at how many top 25 teams lost to unranked teams last week. A lot. So this is a different season, man. These teams are going to be different all the time. Look at the top 2 recruits. I think went to Rutgers or something. They signed another top recruit for Rutgers basketball. That just shows you the whole landscape of basketball is changing.
No, definitely, and I think it's just I'll admit, we came in confident going into the game. I just remember it. I think we were like, we were definitely double digit, favored by double digits. Goodness gracious, here I know I'm an alum and all here, but if you're a betting person, it's like you don't take that. If you're favored big, you don't take that bet.
Right.
To think all the money you can make over the years, but you know what? It's not about that. It's about the alma mater. And at the end of the day, we got the dub on that here. Fiend, you were there when we started making that comeback there. Was that ever a doubt for you? What did you feel there? Was there any? You always say never in doubt. But there were moments, that were quiet there. Did you have any of that feeling as well there in the crowd? I know.
I don't think there was ever a moment where I was like, oh, we can't pull this out, but I did turn to Mateo and I said, look, dude, we need a 15-0 run like now. We can't wait. And I think we went 20-5 to close the game. And so, to get the win. And so it's pretty much what we did. They just flipped the switch and turned it on at the very end. But yeah, when when we went down there, and I mean, we could not hit a bucket. We couldn't hit. We kept missing like layups, so many bunnies that we missed, and they were just shooting lights out. I mean, they shot really well. They played a really good game, and it seemed like they were just breaking our defense almost every possession. Like they were able to get into the paint, which was surprising to me. Like we were allowing them to get into the paint to get that penetration, and then they would kick it out, and then pass it off, make another pass, and at that point, our defense is broken, and they get a wide open shot. And so
as we look at that final play, though. Ledee with that, with the putback. I mean, that was a man's rebound at the, but you're going to Butler. You're going to Butler, because he's made. That he makes that big shot though. But talk about that rebound in terms of he's a what do they call it? Mountain of muscle. I've heard different things about Ledee, a mountain of muscle, and he just willed away there. It was amazing to see, and that feeling. And we go back and talk about the environment there. Like, was there an exhilaration? For me, I know I felt like a sense of relief. We felt a sense of relief. It was like, okay, we won. On to the next one there. I was just ecstatic, and I was like, it's on. Now I can turn to these nerds that have been chirping behind me the entire game, and I can give them, an earful. And so I was excited. I mean, and it was, that was just amazing play, amazing block out, by Ledee to rip that ball out of that guy's hands and then to put it up with no time left. I mean, another buzzer beater. How many buzzer beaters have we had? I mean, if you think about going back like over like the last 5 years, and then, even some of the first half buzzer beaters that we've had, it's been amazing. Not for the faint of heart, as they say here. I think Mike can attest to that. There, I think where we got at the buzzer beaters. There was Flynn in 19 against San Jose State when they were in the Bulls uniforms. I'm trying to think what else.
Butler twice last year.
Twice.
Yep.
You had Darian at the buzzer. I mean, not a game-winning buzzer, but I mean, a first half buzzer beater. I think he had a couple of them this year. So, I mean, yeah, we've had some really exciting finishes, whether that's to a half or to a game, and it's been exciting. I would love to play that series again. I understand why. You read the articles like with Ziegler, and he's kind of against us playing in those type environments because their KenPom ranking is so low, and if you take a loss there, then it's like a quad 3, quad 4 loss. It shows up as a black mark on your resume come tournament time, and so that's why we shouldn't be playing those teams. Now I think if they were like top 100, we should play them like every year. That was a great environment, and too bad for any Aztec fans who could have gone but didn't go. Man, that was a fantastic road atmosphere in San Diego that we didn't have to drive very far for.
Yeah, right. What's that? 8 West? 8 West, go up the 5. It's fairly quick.
Yeah.
That's all right. No, as we kind of go down the chat here, people popping in here. Jesus Gonzalez there. The Malik Pope against New Mexico. I think that was an 18, I want to say, or 9. I think we were down 6, and then they tried to get cute with the out of bounds, and then Pope made it. I think we won in overtime. I think that was back Malik Pope, Winston Shepard. Man, that was I remember that one being live at home too. But we've had our share of buzzer beaters here. I think we've aged a couple decades over the years too. San Diego sports will do that to you. Phil goes in the chat here, and this is an interesting take here, Mike. This is where maybe get you into the fold here. Short, and I think this is an overall kind of take on the team here. Short on wingspan, basketball IQ, and toughness compared to hungry teams on schedule. 75 to 80% winning year. Johnson, as in Keyshawn Johnson, to Arizona took from the Aztec competitiveness. Still contenders needing breaks. Mike, what comes to mind when you hear that?
Toughness compared to hungry teams on schedule. Well, we're still 7-2, dude. We've lost the 2 teams we lost to are 15-1. So I don't really agree with that at all. I think we're getting everybody's best shot, and we're still figuring out how to play. Remember, this team is a team that peaks in February, March. Always have. We're still 7-2. I think there's some I don't know, man. I think there's some air of invincibility that we're going to beat every team. You know, my thought process is kind of like this is the Michigan State school of scheduling. Schedule tough, schedule early. Shit, how many times has Michigan State been like 4-5 or 5-4 or something like that, and all of a sudden they just take off because they're playing at Duke, at Kansas, all these teams. This is the same kind of mentality of scheduling. You want to get this team better. This is a young team. This is 60 plus some unknowns. I think Heidi has gotten better, more aggressive each game. When he gets aggressive and comfortable, he's going to be a monster. You know, he's just got to keep going and stuff. And Bird, if he stays healthy, you can see he's out there. He brings that energy. But, you know, we're still trying to figure it out. We're still relying on our top 6 guys, and Trammell is getting back in shape. But I mean, yeah, we're shorter. I mean, we're not as long as last year. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily know about basketball IQ. I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest with you. But Johnson did take a lot from this team. You could tell how important he was for this team. You know what I mean? So we knew he was good. But,
he was, but I think Elijah, I mean, has really stepped into his role really well. And I mean, I think he's shooting it better, the ball better than Keshad did last year. And that's just a fact. You look at the numbers. Elijah's just lighting it up from the outside, and just something I totally did not expect. And he's just so valuable in so many ways in that position. But I would agree with Phil on short on the wingspan. We don't have guys like a Rope, Mensa, and we're getting killed on the boards. Like, we are absolutely getting killed on the boards, especially second chance opportunities for the other team. And a lot of that has to do with like either, positioning, box out, or wingspan, right? It just comes down to like a tip ball. And so that could be an issue for us if we're giving teams second chance opportunities, because you give them enough second chance opportunities, those lead to points, and those points then, become too much of a deficit to make up. So he's got some valid points there. I don't agree with everything, that he says. I will say that, Johnson was a fantastic defender, but I really like what Elijah is bringing to the team on the offensive end. And he's been such a great kind of revelation for this team this year.
Definitely here, Phil. Thanks for that comment there. We'll keep the conversation going here as we look down, getting more comments down here. We got Ricardo Romero here. Relax. He spells it out. RELAX, all in caps. Relax. Season is not won in the winter, is what he says there. And we got another comment here, and I think this is directed to you, Fiend, here. I wonder how many KenPom chats did Fiend have with the nerds at UCSD. I think.
Thank you, Mike, for that comment. I actually had none. I don't think they really understand basketballs with it as well as like mechanical engineering and physics and stuff like that.
Is that right?
That's
Oliver chiming in here. I know we're bouncing around here, but he says, I was surprised we were playing Butler and Trammell together when we were getting killed on the rebound.
I'm not a big. I'll agree with Oliver on that. I'm not a big fan of playing Butler and Trammell together. I'm just not. And it's nothing against either player. I just think if they're both great point guards. They're doing such a great job distributing the ball. Their assist to turnover ratio is so high. But on the defensive end, then we lack a little size when they're both on the floor. I like the original lineup that we had when Trammell was out, and maybe Trammell coming off the bench as a sixth man. And we've talked about this in previous podcasts, but I agree with that. I like having Butler and Trammell kind of playing staggered minutes.
Speaking of Trammell here, which leads us to our next part of the conversation here. A tale of two games here, with the buzzer beater at UC San Diego coming back from 14, and then you have the game against Grand Canyon University over there with the Havocs over in Phoenix here. And it felt like, and I know we lost, and it felt like Trammell was starting to get his groove back a little bit here. Granted, he can't, he played 20 minutes here, but I mean, he made the most of the points here. And I'm going to start there, Mike, in terms of Trammell, and then we could kind of expand to the whole game here. What did you think of his performance in terms, coming from the bench, playing 20 solid minutes, 11 points? I think I know it was too little too late, but he got us back into the game kept us in the game. The team fought till the end. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, I feel like that's his MO. He kind of comes on at the end of the game. You know what I mean? That's what kind of I feel like he's done lately. So Grand Canyon, we're 1-4 against them. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of teams that are going to go into Grand Canyon and play them. So, like, they're a good team. They have guys that were at Louisville, Kansas, DePaul, guy from Oregon. So I don't know what their NIL situation is there, but I mean, how are they getting these guys? It's a religious school, so I hear a lot about the faith based with that Grant Foster, like the sunglasses, like David, the guy in CSI Miami, right? The Grant Fosters. He knows about those. So they're a good team, dude. I mean, what do you want, man? We've had 2 quad 1 road losses. How many other top 25 teams have played true quad 1 road games so far? Not many, if any. We're the only ones, and we played twice. You got BYU, who's 8-0, Grand Canyon is 7-1. I mean, dude, we're 7-2. We're still learning. We're still maturing, and you still have these guys who were not healthy yet by any stretch of the imagination. So just keep playing. Get a win against Irvine on Saturday. Get better. Go into finals. Take a week off. Get everybody healthy. Back going. Places like Catherine's and Stanford, and then just let's just start rolling until we figure out Gonzaga. Gonzaga's gonna be tough. We all know that, but we're scheduling these games to be better in February, March, not now. And we have all these quad 1 potentials in conference. So 7-2, I'm happy with considering the schedule. I think a lot of people would be happy. We're never going to go undefeated. We weren't going to be 9-0. So 2 quad 1 road losses are tough, but better than a quad 4 loss at UCSD.
Definitely, Brian Dutcher not shying away from this, going, playing pretty much anytime, anywhere here. And I know Mike
It's
brought up a
exciting.
good. It is.
It's exciting. Sorry, bro. I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't mean to
No,
be
no,
like
no.
being
Please, please.
me. But like,
All good.
I just think that I love the schedule. Play is the hardest schedule you can get, dude. Because this Mountain West Conference schedule is going to be tougher than these games we have. I mean, this is going to be a gauntlet this year, dude. Nevada's good. New Mexico's good. Colorado State is good. Utah State, I don't know yet. But, like, just schedule as hard as you can that you can get. And it's going to be even harder next year if we have an 18-game schedule or a 20-game schedule. So just keep scheduling hard games. Next year is going to be interesting with this team. But just keep scheduling. I love this schedule. Love it.
Definitely, Dutch not dodging anyone, and it's also, we got young guys, and you got to grow up quick. These are the kind of games that are gonna get you that experience when you start getting to February and March, hopefully April too, to be able to handle those environments, especially when you start getting on the road in the Mountain West, where you're going in elevation and you're going places where you're not welcome, and you're practically in their Super Bowl. And that's what been for the longest time here. It's one thing to have the hunter's mentality, but the reality of the situation is you're the hunted, and and I know that this team will do it. It's funny. Mike says it's funny what you say, Mike, because I feel like we were talking about this around the same time last year, with the kind of in terms of where we're at in terms of the team. I know we got a different makeup of the team altogether, but I feel like it's kind of different there. And Mike brought up a good point there about good loss or bad loss. Fiend, good loss or bad loss on this in terms of the GCU game. Overall the schedule. Fiend, if you want to chime in, now's the time to shine. Good loss, bad loss.
So I would like to play a game here because I think the optics with playing a team from the WAC, right? The WAC is kind of like the forgotten conference. Like no one good comes out of the WAC. Right. And so I think there's this misconception that like playing Grand Canyon was, a bad loss. Well, no, it's actually a pretty good loss because they're top 75 or, I think 75 in KenPom. They're 71 in KenPom. That's a good loss. It's like Mike said, it's a quad 1 loss. So I think a lot of it has to do perception. So I wanted to do a little game here. And the people in the chat, they can chime in as well. But I'm going to name a team and the conference that they're from. And I want to hear from you if it's a good loss or a bad loss if you were to play them on the road. Okay. And mind you, if you're looking at, like, say, net rankings, I don't go with the net rankings right now. I just think they're too kind of funky. I do more KenPom. But if we're net, quad 1, like a quad 4 loss away from home would be 241 to 353. Those ranked in the net. Away loss for quadrant 3 would be 135 to 240. And a quad 2, which is not a bad loss, would be 76 in the net to 135. Okay. So I'm gonna name the team, and then I'm gonna give their KenPom ranking, and you're gonna tell me if they're a good loss or bad loss. Okay. So the first one I have here is the old juggernaut from the Big East, home of Patrick Ewing and Allen Iverson, the Georgetown Hoyas. Now, based on that name, do you guys think would be a good loss or a bad loss? I'll start with you, Mike.
I mean, that's not enough data information for me. The Georgetown team this year is compared to those teams are different. You know what I mean? Like, we played Georgetown a couple years ago, and I thought we were going to lose it.
But if someone told you on the let me say this: if you saw that team on the schedule and you saw Georgetown, we're playing at Georgetown, or is that a good game?
I think it's a headline game. I don't know if it's a good or bad game.
Okay, so if we were to lose it, that'd be a bad loss. Reason why, they're 178 in KenPom. They're dog shit. So Georgetown is not the team that they used to be, but based on perception that people might think.
Okay, so we're going on perception, not ranking.
Yeah, your perception. You don't know, if you don't know what the rankings are, you just look at it and you think, okay, is it a good or bad loss? Okay. Chino, I'm going to give this one to you. Princeton, out of the Ivy League. Is that a good loss or a bad loss if you lose to them on the road?
Off the top of my head, I feel like, first of all, you shouldn't lose to them. But if in the unfortunate circumstance we had to, I think it feels like a good loss. I feel like they dominate their league. But of course, that's just my instinct running here. I'm not looking at any facts. I'm not looking at anything.
Yeah. So I mean, even though they're playing out of the Ivy League, they're ranked 47th in KenPom. So that would be a good loss. It'd be like if it were net, it'd be quad 1 loss.
They got the same offense as Air Force or something like that. They run that real deliberate, like make you fall asleep for 30 seconds, and then
they do it a lot better than Air Force does. All right, Mike, I'm going to move on to you. Out of the Missouri Valley Conference, the home of Larry Bird, the Fighting Sycamores, not the Hoosiers, but the Sycamores, Indiana State University. What are your thoughts?
I think that would be probably a bad loss.
Okay. And I think a lot of people would think that would be a bad loss, but they're actually ranked 58th in KenPom. So that would be a good loss. That'd be a quad 1 loss. Or, if we won, that'd be a quad 1 win. So it'd actually be a really good team, to play right now. I think they've only lost like 1 game this season. Okay. Chino, back to you.
Okay.
We're going to go with Rick Pitino. Used to coach this team. I think he coached them to a national championship. They also were home to Denny Crum back in the 80s, a couple of championships out of the ACC, Louisville. If we went on the road at Louisville, would that be a good loss or a bad loss to them?
Was that before or after the problems with all the strippers and all that stuff? Am I thinking of the right guy?
We're talking after the strippers.
After.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, here,
but just going off the name Louisville. Going off the name Louisville.
I think it's a good loss.
Okay, so Ricardo Romero agrees with you that Louisville would be a good loss.
That's my boy.
That is incorrect. It would be a bad loss because they're ranked KenPom 160 right now. So yes, so if that were an away game, if that were the net rankings, that'd be a quad 3 loss on the road at Louisville.
Not bad, eh?
Back to you, Mike. From the Midwest, South Bend, Indiana, out of the ACC, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. What do you think?
At Notre Dame?
At Notre Dame. You got to play in South Bend.
I mean, they're usually pretty good, to be honest with you. So I would think that's probably I think that would be a better loss than a bad loss.
Yeah, I would think so too, right? I would think so too. Wrong.
they're not.
171 in Ken Palm. Notre Dame right now. That is a bad loss if you had to play them on the road and you lost. Grand Canyon to finish it up is a good loss. Ken Palm 71, better than Notre Dame, better than Louisville, better than Georgetown. So I'm putting to rest all the naysayers who say that we should not play at Grand Canyon as long as they're ranked in the top 100 of Ken Palm. I think we should schedule them all day. I think it's a great atmosphere, a great environment, and we need to get them back on the schedule ASAP.
Fiend, you telling me the sky's not falling?
That what?
The sky is not falling?
Sky is not falling.
It's
Who
not
said
falling.
the sky was falling? Oh, everybody on Twitter?
Yeah. X.
Twitter's
X.
outrageous, bro.
Well,
Whatever,
Facebook,
dude.
Facebook too.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever it's called.
That place is just a
I don't care.
trash bin of people's bullshit opinions, dude. Like, I get everybody's got their own thing, but holy Christ, man. Like, I read it and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I gotta get off this fucking thing, man. You know what I mean?
Emotional.
Like, it's crazy to me, dude. Like, everybody's like, oh my God. Like you said, the sky is falling. You're like, oh my God. Like, you get so low, the ants are going to piss on you. Dude, we're 7-2. Chill out, man.
I agree, man. I think we're exactly where we should be this time of year. I'm not overly concerned about, these two, the two losses that we've had, the near loss at UCSD. There are some things that we need to work on, right? There's some things that we need to figure out. We need to get better at rebounding. That's absolutely for sure. Our guards, we need better shooting from our guards, both Trammell and Butler. We need better shooting. We need better free throw shooting as well. I don't know what has happened to Lamont. He's fallen in a slump. I think he's hitting less than 50% from the free throw line. I don't expect that to continue. I whatever's going on there, I think he's going to turn that around. Maybe it's just a confidence issue. But those are two things, rebounding, I would say, and guard production they're doing a great job distributing the ball. Assist to turnover ratio, amazing. They're both doing a great job. They just need to, maybe take better shots and hit more of the shots that they take.
No, I know that I know I'm gonna butcher it, but I know he's a regular here. Brandon Braden. Let's go help Lamont out and be available to rebound for him so he has a 20 rebounder 24/7 to fix his slump. I know he said that quite a little bit ago, but I think it's fitting I bring it up here, given what Fiend just said too. So as we kind of go down the chat here, that 10-day break is arriving at a perfect time where they'll address their issues here. Almost a break. I know we got one more game before that finals break, if you will, here. What's up, Justin? As we kind of go down the chat here, going to the schedule, in terms of the schedule here, give us Gonzaga every year. I concur with that. 2 wins with GCU and UC San Diego in hopes they improve. I'm okay with on the schedule there. Bench help.
Yeah.
Keep chiming in, everybody here.
We
I
definitely
think
need bench
GCU is already there. I think GCU is already there. I would agree with 2-for-1 maybe with UCSD.
Definitely there. Who's going to Gonzaga? John Jay says here. John Jay, you going to Gonzaga? Anyone going to Gonzaga? Anyone going up there for that game?
No.
Spokane, I don't know what about it. It just doesn't really speak to me. I don't know. It doesn't speak to me like a destination time. I've never been there. But I don't really have any real desire to go either.
It's a cool little college town, dude.
Is it?
It's a cool little, yeah. It's a great little college town, dude. If you get a chance to go to a game,
maybe you can sell me on that. Yeah.
Yeah. We were 6-4 at this time last year.
Perspective for you right there. From the perspective.
I remember. We were talking. We were so frustrated because beginning of the year last year, we're like, we have a Final Four team. Like, we have all the pieces for a Final Four team. And beginning of the year, they just were not consistent for a team that was a veteran team.
Mm-hmm.
This team is not as veteran. Like, they've got a lot of new pieces that they're trying to fit into that puzzle. So I'm actually amazed that they're playing the way they are with, what they were returning and how they've, kind of meshed the way Reese Waters has just like assimilated himself into this team with this, the way he plays offense and the way he guards. I'm amazed by that transformation.
So I have a question for you since we played your game.
Okay.
How do I put this?
Shoot.
Was the schedule too difficult for the the lack of veterans on this team.
Was the schedule too difficult? No,
Is
I
the
don't think so.
schedule
I
too
mean,
difficult considering we have the amount of young guys, not necessarily the veterans. Let me rephrase.
no, I think the results
schedule
speak for
difficult.
itself. We're 7-2 right now. Now, if we drop a couple of games that we're not supposed to, then we're gonna
Let me
preview one coming up in UC Irvine. That's gonna be another tough game.
let me finish the question,
Okay.
please.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I talk over you. My bad.
Damn,
That's
man.
all right.
Michael toured a lot.
For this young team to get the young guys in and get experience, because as you can see with these games, they're not getting as much time as the starters, and rightfully so, because we're in a dogfight every single game. That's the only qualm I have with this difficult schedule, even though I love it, is it going to be a detriment to the young guys at the end of the year who aren't getting as many minutes as they would have with say, like, look at Nevada's schedule. That's a dookie schedule. The teams they played are like 27 and 29, and they're 7-0, and these guys are like, oh, we're great. I'm like, you guys haven't played shit yet. Let's wait until you guys play a team. So that's the curiosity of mine going forward is Bird can't stay healthy, unfortunately. You see flashes from him. Heidi's getting a little bit better. We haven't really seen anything out of BJ Davis.
No, he hasn't gotten off the bench
No,
much. Pal
you know,
is. I'll be the first one to say Pal has not lived up to the expectations that I thought he would live up to yet. Still, guys, like we're only a quarter of the season through, right? Like there's so much basketball to be played. There's so much improvement that can be had, by this entire team. And they're not only going to get better in games, they're going to get better in practice, right? Like they're going to compete in practice and they're going to get better. So I don't know if the schedule's too tough. I mean, you want to play tough games. You want to play a top competition, especially when you play in a conference like the Mountain West, because you're not playing, a schedule like the Big 12 where it's like top 25 game in and game out, right? So why not try to load up your non-conference schedule with the toughest opponents that you can in the toughest environments? I think it just makes you better come tournament time. So, right. I mean, I'm all for the tough schedule and maybe not playing the young guys as much, just so that we're playing tough games and we're getting that experience and you learn a lot. And it's like what Dutcher said, you learn a lot. You learn a lot through wins. You learn a lot through losses too. And this really sharpens your mettle when you're playing these tough games in these tough environments.
But at some point too, you got to realize that Dutch wouldn't put a schedule together like this if he didn't have the confidence that these guys, whether you're a senior or whether you're a youngin, that they would be able to compete in this environment here. And I think what this schedule is doing is our guys who were playing 10, 15 minutes last year, they're growing up quick, and I hope, and that's something, that's the beauty of what you see in the journey is that you're able to see these guys grow. That when we have this chat come February or March here, hopefully we'll see that. And I think it's one of those things where it's just we're gonna write it out. We're gonna write it out. And speaking of conference foes here, I'm looking at the comments here from Joey. He is a New Mexico fan. He is also a Bolts fan. LA Chargers, not San Diego. They're dead to me. You guys look rough this year. That guard play you guys got is going to get eaten alive by House, Dent, and Mashburn. See you soon.
Okay. We'll be there.
Going to the pit, right? I hear
yeah,
that's the
we'll
word.
Be there, man. We'll be there at the pit. We've got our reservations, our flights, and our hotel booked. So yeah, no, we're excited. Who is this? Which who is it? Joey?
Joey.
Okay. Joey. Yeah, Joey. I don't know if he's in Albuquerque or going to be at that game, but come say hi, man.
Get him some chile rellenos or whatever it is.
Yeah, man. Let us know where to eat. Let us know where to eat in Albuquerque.
Mike, what's up?
The altitude is what worries me with these young kids,
especially if we're playing our starters big minutes here early on here.
Yeah. You got New Mexico at altitude, Nevada at altitude, Boise at altitude, Colorado at altitude, Air Force at altitude, Wyoming at altitude. At some point, these starters aren't going to play 30, 40 minutes at altitude. Dude, it's not fun, man. Like, and then look at this. You got at Air Force and then at Nevada. That's tough, man. You know what I mean? Like Thursday, Friday. So that's all I'm saying is like, yeah, I'm cool with it. I mean, like I said, I'll schedule what you want, schedule what you can. But when my philosophy is if we're scheduling these tough games, go for it, love it. But if you're in a dogfight every game and these young kids are getting, I mean, look at our bench, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Not, Heidi's getting more minutes, but I mean, I'm freaking excited about Elijah Sanders. I didn't expect that from him. He's a talent, man. He's more than I thought he was going to be, and he's great, dude. I'm really excited about that dude. But that's what I worry about. You know what I mean? Is the long term down the road a little bit. You know what I mean? Get them a little bit more time in meaningful games.
Definitely. Speaking of meaningful games here, the schedule, definitely no cakewalk here as we look ahead to our next game, and it's around the corner before you know it here. UC Irvine, the Anteaters, out of the Big West. And I remember the last time we played them, it took a Micah Parrish. It took a Detroit City bad boy. It took a bad boy from the Motor City to bail us out of that one, if I remember correctly. It was at 3 from the corner.
A look away three. Away three.
I stand corrected. A look away 3 because it was never in doubt when he put it up. It's a Saturday game, by the way, 7:30 Viejas Arena. I think that's FS1 for the TV folk, the streaming folk, and whatnot here. Another Big West team here. Do we got our work cut out here, gents? You think this is when we're going to take our frustrations out in it? Mike, start us off.
I mean, we typically don't lose at home after road loss. We not very often, if ever. You know what I mean? So, but again, I mean they want everyone else to play at Viejas. I mean, everybody wants to beat us. So we're not. There's no easy dubs on the schedule, man. I mean, we saw that with UCSD, and Washington and all these teams. So yeah, every game is going to be a dogfight, man.
No doubt there. Fiend, you think it's a dogfight on this one?
I mean, I'm hoping for a bounce back game. This game's not going to be easy. I mean, they beat USC. Well, Boogie Ellis and Kobe Johnson didn't play in that game. So, I mean, they didn't have some of their big players, but they did get a win on the road at the Galen Center at USC. So they're no pushover. They have lost 3 games on the road. They lost their last game at Utah State. Utah State's a lot better than we thought they were going to be. Lost by 10, 79-69 in Logan. So I think we have the horses to pull out a comfortable 7-8 point win over them. But it could be close. I don't know. We'll just see, how we respond. I'd like to see maybe some bounce back games from Trammell and Butler, and we'll just have to see how they do. But yeah, they're a pretty balanced team. I think they got like 4 or 5 guys in double figures. They've got a 7'1" center, so that's going to be exciting to watch him go against Ledee. I love the matchups with Ledee and these big guys, just to see how he can match up with them, and if they need to double team him, and how that frees up other guys for opportunities.
Man, like Ledee. Speaking of Ledee being a machine, there, what are they saying during the last telecast? There, he makes 400 to 500 shots a day or something. He's boxing. He's like,
he runs 3 miles, right? They said he runs like 3 miles, 2 or 3 miles. Then he boxes and he hits like 400 shots.
Good Lord!
On top of great genetics.
Yeah, that's without a
doubt. He's a stud, dude. Like, he's a stud, and there's gonna be games where like some of those guys are off, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with Butler at the line. That is a little worrisome to me, to be honest with you, because I mean, we lose by 6 to Grand Canyon, and they had 8 more free throws.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's going to change the game, but like, you make a free throw here or there, and they shot 60% in the second half, dude. They were on fire. I mean, that dude Grant Foster what are you going to do? Dude's balling out, man. Like, you can't.
That guy's.
I mean,
he's a pro. He's
good offense. Yeah, for sure. I still believe we have great defense, but at the end of the day, good offense tends to typically beat good defense. I think not all the time, but more often than not. And it just showed last night. I mean, they shot 60% in the second half, 48 overall. So, I mean, hey, props to them, man. They're a good team. They wanted to, beat us, and we gave them a run at the end, and they were just the better team that night. We run it back at Viejas, it might be a different story. So I prefer them to come to us instead of going back to them.
Definitely, and I think
sure, definitely.
Oh, I think that's a definite. I think Mike brings some very good points on that front here as we kind of look to the past here, and we should try to move forward here. By the way, expecting another good crowd for that UC Irvine game. That's a Saturday night, 7:30 tip off. Oh my, that's gonna be good. And not that we need a giveaway for it here. Apparently, they're giving out the mini Final Four replica banners too. On top of that, so
that's right.
no shameless.
Is this Joey character is he in New Mexico? Is he gonna show us around New Mexico or what?
That's a good question. I know there's a nice healthy conversation that's putting it diplomatically between the Aztec Nation here and Joey here. So if you want to try, I think Mike put out the ask there.
I would love. I hope DeMarche isn't hurt again, dude. Like, I mean, we could really use him.
It looked like he messed up his shoulder. Yeah.
Again,
that shoulder bother him again. I know he played for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
No,
So like,
I just want to point.
Yeah,
I want to point something out. I just want to point something out real quick, man. I want to give Reese Waters his flowers, man. Dude is 36 at 36 from the free throw line. He is shooting 100%. He has not missed a free throw all year. The last time we had an Aztec go 36 at 36 from the line. I mean, that's just that blows my mind.
Oh, he's not. Joey's not. He's wishful thinking. It's not happening. You're completely wrong. It's almost like Fiend's game where he gives you a question and doesn't tell you the answers and then changes the answer at the end. Similar.
What does that remind me of?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy. What is?
What is? Listen, perception versus reality. Is this a good loss? Yes.
That's all right.
Wrong. Is this a good win? Wrong.
And we'll leave it on that note here because last time I checked, this is the Sons of Montezuma here. This ain't no Lobo Land. This ain't none of that here. We're gonna keep this going here.
Guy?
I don't even know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what his name is. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Watch Lamont break their hearts again, man. I'll just be laughing at Joey so much.
That's what that is.
So I can lose the Fiend again.
People will be shooting their shot here. It seems like here. You know what? That's good. Chat's healthy. It's all good here. Speaking of which, here I know Mateo. I know he's been under the weather, but he's kind of working the controls and the levers and everything here. I think let's dive into this here. Let's shoot your shot here. So warm up the machine. Warm up. Do what you got to do here to get everything ready here. I think for those of you who tune in the live stream on a regular basis, you know the rules here. But there's some newbies here, so let's kind of go through the rules here real quick here. It's a 30-second shot clock, which I have no control over. Mateo has control over it because he's the man with the levers. So we got you guys taking a position, and you got to make your case why your stance is best. And you know what? Those of you in the chat, chime in, see who's best in each round here, and who you think won, and we'll go from there. So you know what? Let's go with this first question here. You know what? We're going to start with Fiend. I'm going to give you this question here. Should SDSU schedule games against UCSD, USD, and Point Loma Nazarene anymore, and why? So should we schedule these other games against these other locals? I'm going to go 30 seconds. Go.
Yes, I think we should schedule against all those teams. I mean, we can drop some of the other crappy non-con games that we have and just have some of the games against these teams in the city. I think it's good for San Diego basketball. I think it's good for rivalries. It's just good for college basketball too, to have inner city rivalries. So I'm all for additional scheduling. I would hope that they would not be home and homes if they are not really ranked high in KenPom.
Just like that, 30 seconds. You blink and it's all gone. If we had a decent sports arena, Fiend, would you welcome kind of a invitational kind of situation?
Like a neutral site?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I think I could get behind that. Definitely.
Okay.
San Diego Classic.
Something like that. We had a San Diego Slam one year, I think, or a couple of years.
They got some really weird rules though about like invitationals. Like that's why we only played. You can only play one invitational like per year. We we had the Continental Tire Invitational, and then we had like that one game that was a part of an invitational, but it was kind of separate with California. So if it were to replace one of those invitationals where we're playing top tier teams, no, I would not do it. But I could definitely get behind just like playing separate games against those teams.
Speaking of invitationals, not invitational. Speaking of kind of tourney games, if you will, we're playing against USC in Palm Springs, right? Acrisure Arena or something like that.
Yeah,
I think Thanksgiving week or something. That'll be fun.
Yep,
that's
next
a good.
year.
That's a good reason to
That'll
go
be
to Palm
fun.
Springs.
That'll be a lot of fun. Yep.
So let's get back on track here, Mike. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds here. Should SDSU schedule games against the Tritons, the Toreros, and Sea Lions anymore, and why? 30 seconds starts now. Go.
No, because at this point we're doing them a favor. You know what? I don't think we have to worry about it next year because if we have a longer conference schedule, we're not going to have room for teams like that. So, no, don't worry about it anymore.
Wow. You want to use the rest of your 30 seconds? You want to say hi to you?
No.
Say you want to shout out anybody?
You have to over-explain your answer. Is probably the wrong answer.
Look at that. Mike makes his words count, everybody.
I have to take the opposite stance of Fiend, but if he would have said no, I would have said yes. So, I just don't think it's worth it. And we don't worry about it.
Man, who do you think who won? That's at 30 seconds. That's 30 right there.
I vote for Fiend.
No, I actually like your answer, Mike. I think it actually makes sense. I mean, I didn't even bring up the point of the additional games that we'd have to play in conference, and if that's the case, then we just don't have enough games to play some of the teams from San Diego.
See, bro, that's why we complement each other.
Ricardo says Fiend won. Oh, we got a split here. Ricardo says Fiend won. Brandon says Mike nailed it.
Let's let Joey decide who won.
We won. Oh, we said and Angelica, hello. Says Mike for the win, round one. Okay.
I just want to say I enjoyed.
Oh, more Mike. What's going on, Christopher De La Riva? Mike.
Angelica's deep thoughts on the X is I enjoyed reading them daily.
Deep thoughts.
All right, congrats, Mike. You won that. Look at that.
Oh.
They're just flooding in for
Chris
you.
Coney says Mike.
Oh, wow. Yeah. This is unprecedented.
Mike's gets dude. I think we're giving Mike the dub on round one here. He went short and sweet here. Okay. We'll keep
retire. Can I retire?
You want to retire? I have more. At least one more question.
You can't retire.
Fiend is a tough counterpart on these games. He's so.
But ever the gentleman, though. Ever the gentleman, nonetheless. So, no matter what. So I hear. So, next question here. You might want to you might need to stretch for this next one. You might need to kind of get whatever it is out of your system here. You got to chat. I want you to channel your inner Coach Dutch. Mike, we're going to start with you here in a little bit. Give the team your best pep talk against UC Irvine. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Mike, go.
Hey, guys, we're coming off a loss. We're in front of our home crowd. You know how this crowd feels about you Saturday night in San Diego. Let's go out and get a win and get back on track, and then we could take a week off and get your guys with finals and finish up schooling, and then we can come back and focus on after the finals break. So let's go out, play good basketball, get a win, and let's take some time off and go from there.
Mike Tortolot with the Coach Dutch rendition, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like that's something he would say.
Fiend. That's what you heard right there. I see his focus. I can see him dial in here. Channel that inner Coach Dutch.
I think I'm gonna channel my inner John Goodman from Revenge of the Nerds.
Starting with the 30 seconds and go.
You just got your ass whooped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Now you better go do something about it and get out there against UC Irvine and whip their asses, send them home with a loss, and let's start another winning streak. Let's go, Aztecs. Come on, boys. Come on.
Dang. Nobody's using that 30 seconds.
Is that from the first Nerds?
Yeah, that is from the first Nerds. It's such a good movie. I love that movie.
Were you in college when that came out?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
See, he always hits me with the ageism, dude.
You know what I would
And,
love? I mean, I just thought about it. I didn't want to interrupt
he
you.
looks older than I do, so
Look at that.
I age better than he does.
I will say this: as much
I
as
don't have a kid, man. I don't have a kid. That's the I guess the secret.
as much as he's
I'm
busting your
winning.
chops, Fiend. As much as he's busting your chops here, I'm looking at the comments here, and it's unanimous.
Landslide.
Unanimous
Yeah.
Fiend.
I
also got Fiend. I also got Fiend by a hair. I also got Fee, no ND, and a lot of Fiends. You got Fee.
I'm really disappointed though that Joey's not chiming in here.
I don't know. I think 2 hours ahead. Isn't it past bedtime already or curfew or something like that?
Yeah,
Goodness
time for
gracious.
another hit of math or
I
something.
think it's only an hour. I think it's only an hour ahead.
Oh, it's only an hour ahead. Yeah. whatever the case may be, man. Fiend. It's unanimous.
Yep.
And
it's tied up.
And it says in my thing I got 3 questions here, but I think I gave them all because one of them is like, give us your number. And I'm like, what number? And I'm like, I feel like you all have engaged in such awesome debate here. I think you all should win. I feel like I'm going to have like the Capri Suns and the oranges on
Fuck that.
No.
This is America.
Okay.
This is America.
Oh,
Somebody's got to win. Give another question.
We're gonna go sudden death.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
Well,
you know what? You know what's going to be? You know what?
Sudden death. It's tiebreaker.
No orange pills for Mike.
All right. We're gonna go score prediction for Saturday's game.
Right.
Since Fiend won, you want to go first? Or you want to give it to Mike first at the game?
I'll give it to Mike. You
want to get to Mike? All right, Mike. 30 seconds. Shoot. Go.
I think it's going to be 81-67. San Diego State University. Aztecs.
The San Diego State University.
Is there a spread out yet? I don't see a spread yet.
I haven't seen anything on the odds here, but
I think 81-67.
67. You're not even going to round up to nice on the 67. Okay. I see it. The 167, the San Diego State University.
3,
2, 1. Mike, you know what? That's all about Mike. Just instinctive to the point. I'm not trying to sway it either way, but you're on point.
This is anomalous, bro. This isn't usually me. I'm usually taking 50, 60 seconds. This is a new thing for me.
Well, there's a first time for everything. There's a first time.
Yeah, Fiend can attest to that.
I remember my first time. I remember my first house too. So, Fiend, want to throw the ball in your court? 30 seconds. Go.
All right. I think that the final score is going to be 75 Aztecs. UC Irvine, 64. So I think we're going to win by 11 points. That's probably about what the spread is going to be. I think we should play better than we did against Grand Canyon. Again, hoping for a bounce back game from our guards. I think we're going to be hungry for a win. And they really need, after 2 tough games on the road, that home crowd energy with the banners that they're giving out to all the fans. So I think that's going to give them an extra bit of juice.
Extra bit of juice. And you know what?
The juice.
You know, the juice. What kind of juice you're going to bring Fiend at the game? You going Saturday?
Oh, Capri Sun, man.
Oh, is that right?
I
just brought it out there. Was that Mike?
Are you a Capri Sun guy?
No.
Is that your thing?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, I like a Capri Sun.
Hey.
We have them here.
I haven't had one. It was probably in grade school.
There it is. Future shot there, powered by Capri Sun, ladies and gentlemen. Here, get them all there. You know what was that Pacific drink I remember back in the day? Oh man, now we're just dating ourselves at this point here. So
yeah, exactly.
Oh my word. On that note, here, I'm going to shoot my final shot here since I gave Fiend and Mike the thing. I want to give one shout out to Sweetwater High football, home of the Red Devils, National City. They are the only San Diego high school football team left playing, and they're going to go for the state title on Saturday, 11 a.m. over at El Camino College in Torrance. They're playing some team from Colusa over in the Central Valley. Who knew there was a Colusa? But to Coach Urban Hernandez, to Coach Jesse and those boys, good luck. Aztec Nation's behind you, the city's behind you, the county's behind you because you're the only SD team. So that is my final shot here. So I leave you on this note here on behalf SD Sports Fiend, Mike Turtelot. I got your name right every time, I think. It rolls off the tongue really nicely. Just so you know. It's very phonetic. I'm El Chino. Government main name's Andrew. All I gotta say is go Aztecs. And by the way, stay. That's it.
What was that?
Go Aztecs.
Stay. It's a long. It goes way back.
All right, we'll talk about it later at the beer. Go
That's for another
Aztecs. Big game Saturday. Gotta have it. Let's get back on track.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
There it is. Get your merch. Get the merch too. Get the NIL merch. Sonsofmontezuma.com.
Thanks for joining. Even you,
Yes.
Joey trolling us.
Mateo, get better. Mateo San Diego, get better, my friend. Seat's gonna be all yours again. Peace.
Joey trolling D's nuts.
We game time ready. Welcome to my gym. Where the
Here's
crowd's
Trammell. Butler. 4-3. No good. Rebound. Ladine puts it in. Was there time left on the game clock?
I think that's the ball game.